Okay, everyone, we're back with another podcast, and this time, pretty excited. It is around balanced, and we have Lisa and Peter with us joining. Going to talk all about V2. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Very excited for the launch tonight.
Bit nervous.
Oh, nothing to be nervous about. I'm pretty excited about balanced V2, and let's just dive in. So, like, everyone who's in the community will be super familiar with balance, but let's say there's new players, new listeners, new community members. Before we dive into what balance is and the nitty-gritty and the changes, I kind of wanted to get a little bit of your Parrot 9, who y'all are, why y'all got into the game, what your experience is, what really, motivates you about DeFi, and what are y'all trying to change? Because I know y'all feel very passionate about that, specifically in DeFi, right? So I'm keen to get that insights from y'all.
Yeah, so Parrot 9 is a four-person design team. We're based in New Zealand, you couldn't tell by our accents. And yeah, we've been in this space we started Balanced in 2020, so it's been a while now. And yeah, one of the main reasons why we've been so attracted to DeFi is that it's been 6 years since we've been working in the space, and everything is still pretty shit. Like, there's been a lot of protocols being released, there's a lot of apps, but most of them are still really hard to use. So as designers, we found that it's been a really good industry to be in, just to keep ourselves challenged and to not just do the same old like onboarding flows and other crap that people do in Web2 space that's been done a million times over. Like, there are actually good challenges to solve in this space. So it's kept us very busy.
Very cool. Okay. Sorry, I missed that. What'd you say?
Oh, what she said. I don't really have anything too much to add to that.
Well said. Okay, so yeah, it's 2026. So 5 years Balance has been around for, I guess, like, it's gone under a huge rebuild, right? So there was V1, and V1 was a lot of things. It was, a CDP, it was a AMM, it was, what else was it? Yeah, you had pools, you had kind of quite a lot to do in Balance. So what's changed? Like, what's different as part of this rebuild of V2?
Yeah, well, I guess everything is different. So with Balance V1, it was its own protocol. So yeah, we had the stablecoin loan, we had the trading, we had the DAO aspect, like all of the governance and the voting. All of that is now gone because Balance is no longer its own protocol. We are now building on top of other people's technology stacks, starting with SODAX. And so we've just pulled it right back and rebuilt the entire thing from scratch. And it's at launch just focused on having a money market and having an exchange, just two of these really core DeFi features. And then we'll just build on top of it from there.
Cool. So with the money market, obviously you're shipping. How many chains are you shipping with the money market support?
12.
12, okay.
Yeah.
So that's like Aave has 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. So how have you tackled that? Like, that's a huge amount of chains to ship in one go.
Our developer kicks ass.
Yeah, definitely does. And yeah, having the SODAX tech stack to utilize as well has really helped out, because we were able to use like the wallet SDK, which meant that connecting all of those chains was really straightforward. In the past, when we tried to connect a new chain, it would be like a month-long endeavor. When we first took Balance cross-chain, it was very painful, one chain at a time. The developers had their work cut out for them with all of them. So now with the SODAX stack, it's just so much easier to connect a new chain. But yeah, one of the reasons why we wanted to launch with 12 was because we didn't want to have Balance V2 have less functionality than what Balance V1 did. We didn't want to leave anyone stranded who'd been using us already on different chains. So yeah, we wanted to be able to offer everything with this version that we had in the previous version. The main difference with this one is now we have Ethereum. We didn't have that in V1. And we have cut back a couple of the older chains, like Icon is no longer there, Archway or Harvard, double gone. We don't want to have any of those short-term chains there. We just want to focus on the future and what we can have for the long term. So Would you believe that we were actually planning to launch with 15 chains, but sadly we couldn't quite get near stacks and injective in time. So they'll come very soon after launch.
Very cool. Okay, it's funny now that you mention it. I remember, like, we were all working in the background, right, to integrate new chains, and in the old days, it was such a process. By the time we got the chain and got everything working and running, versus, yeah, it's come a long way. The infrastructure itself has been developed with that in mind, whereas in the past it wasn't. It was, I even remember, contracts were written, everything was done. It's like, yeah, guys, let's do it, and it was like, oh my God, no, there's so much in between that needs to get connected to have then the front end be able to function. And yeah, it's changed a lot. So.
All of the testing. So much testing.
Yes. Oh my God. So it's really good to hear that it has gotten a lot simpler. I would like it personally to be more simpler, but it's still like, 10x compared to what it used to be. And in future, hopefully it should get even easier. So newer chains, post stacks and near, should start getting even easier to implement, which is great. So we got the money market. It's launching on 12 chains. What else? We've got this. What are the other features for V2? It's money market and trades, and that's the core of it.
Yeah, those are the two core products that we have for it. Yeah.
Okay, and let's dig a little bit into how this works. Like, I kind of want, how will all these chains, how are they going to work? Like, how as a user am I going to approach balance and go, what chain do I use? How do I take loans? Let's just cover very simplistically, how is this going to work for a user?
Yeah, I mean, when you go to balance, you'll just click the sign in button and then choose which chains you want to connect to. So you can choose to connect to just Ethereum and EVM chains. You can connect to Stellar, Solana, or Sui. You can just take your pick of which ones you want to use. And then, like if you want to trade, you can just choose which assets you want to swap between. If you're not connected to one of those chains that you would be receiving it on, then you'll be prompted to connect that wallet, or you can enter in a custom address if you want to send it somewhere else and you don't have the wallet there to connect to. And then same with the money markets, you can just, if you've got assets that are available to supply, it will show you which ones are there once you sign in with your wallet. So you can very easily supply those assets. And then you can just choose from literally any asset that we have through the money market, you can borrow it. Doesn't have to be on the same chain that you're already using. It can be any of the supported chains. So it's designed to be very simplistic. Whichever chain you want to start on and then which one you want to end on, you get the choice. You don't have to juggle a whole bunch of different transactions to make that happen. It's all just in one go.
Okay, cool. So I can be a user primarily on Arbitrum. I come in, I can just sign in. Like, I don't want to confuse myself with everything else. I can just sign in my EVM wallet and go to the Arbitrum chain, supply everything I need to. But then using that, I can kind of go, hey, but based on my Arbitrum portfolio, I want to borrow Solana, or I want to buy USDC and well, no, let's stick to borrowing. I want to borrow Solana, I want to borrow Sui, and I can use all that collateral that I have on Arbitrum and kind of take out loans for these other assets that get delivered on those chains natively for me to go and do whatever I want.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
kind of the flow. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
As long as you've got those Sui or Solana wallets there that it can send those assets to, then you can borrow whatever you want from whatever chain. There's no limitations there.
Okay, great. Now, so I know y'all are very big on analytics and certain tracking pieces, right? Like, do you want to share a bit of insights as to like a bit of your philosophy around it and why?
Do you want to take this one?
Oh man, I could go on for days about this. I don't know. I mean, we want to use software that we build software that we want to use ourselves, and anything that is too heavily tracked or that it's too nagging or annoying, we won't use. So balance is pretty much that on steroids. we've got zero tracking, which is probably, I can't think of too many other platforms that would do that.
No.
Probably like my Ether wallet back in the day, but yeah, we really want to have a platform where you can do what you want and just know that no one else is looking over your shoulder watching what you do.
Yeah, love that. That's what DeFi is meant to be as well, right? You have control. You have it's about control and your keys and all that stuff. But you also don't want someone watching everything you do. Which, I mean, it's all on chain and you can, but intentionally tracking it, right? Or yeah.
The whole point is that, you know, like decentralized finance means you're kind of taking these middlemen out. And so if you're then having a company that's got their own goals and started because they're wanting to track you and do whatever they want to do with your data, then you kind of are getting this weird mix of it's decentralized, but they also want to try to centralize it in other ways. So, yeah, with Balance, you're just completely anonymous. There is no way that we could possibly identify you through anything that we have, because we don't track anything except for what you're already seeing on chain anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
The
internet in 2026 is getting pretty bad for tracking everyone, and so it is a stand against all of that. Like probably the main thing that everyone's upset about at the moment would be Windows 11 and just how much you know. You look surprised about that.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of like forceful advertising through it. You know, you set up Windows 11 and these pop-ups and crap everywhere, and it's turned people off. You know, everyone's now moving to Linux. It's getting the highest market share that it's ever had. You know, even Steam on Linux is now over 5%. You know, Microsoft's down to like 92. That's a trajectory that's starting to happen, and I think that's going to keep on happening unless they rein themselves in on just the level of user hostileness when it comes to all the advertisements and forced tracking that comes with Windows 11.
Yeah, my surprise was, you know, I used to follow all the Windows updates, like it was my thing, and I just totally lost where Windows is up to, and yeah, okay, very interesting. Yeah, obviously they've gone down. I remember they were throwing a lot of ads and stuff in the squares, and constantly it was just in your face. And,
seems like microflop is the new term that everyone's been throwing around.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes.
It's one of the problems. Once you let the cat out of the bag, it's very hard to then put it back in. No one wants to like cut back on what they have. So by not having anything at all and having just a blanket ban on that, it's not like, where is the line? Having anything is crossing the line. So we're just have a very firm stance on that.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so I want to talk about, like, because, you know, we know there was V1, V2, it's like this fresh new look start, very focused in on these features, money markets and swaps. But you'll do have a big user base that have used version 1, and with the migration and a few other things that have happened, I want to spend some time talking through what users will have to do and some of the things they need to do to migrate, right? Like, so let's talk about loans. What will users have to do to migrate their loans?
Yeah, so if they've got a loan on Balanced V1, what they want to do is repay anything that they can currently so that they can unlock as much of their collateral as they can. And then they can take that collateral, if it's been an ICX, so they'll obviously have to convert it to a different currency that's actually accessible on Balanced V2. But then they can take that money and they can go and deposit it into the Balanced V2 money market. We have BNUSD is still available in the money market as well. And for the first month until May 10th, there will be no fee to borrow BNUSD. So it gives people a chance to be able to move their money across. So they'll be able to borrow BNUSD against their assets, and then they'll take that to Balanced V1. They can convert that to the old version of BNUSD, use that to repay their loan or reduce it down, unlock more collateral, and then just keep on looping that until they've repaid the whole thing and moved it across to V2. Can be a little bit complex, especially depending on which chains that you've been using Balance for the loans. But I will have the docs being updated when we launch to be just a full transition guide to help people go through the steps that are required to migrate their loans.
Okay. Cool. And I'll add to that. So a question I said earlier, I gave the scenario. I'm on Arbitrum and I want to use. So like the way the stack operates is your loan, like on the old balance, you had kind of each asset you could take a loan to in version 1. So if you had, ICX, you take a loan, then you switch to, say, Bitcoin, and the loan was only against that asset. In the new infrastructure, the loan is to that chain's address, and that's the distinction for everyone migrating. So instead of per asset, it's per address. So if you migrate SUI, right, to SUI, and then go to take a loan off SUI, it will only be whatever assets you put on the SUI address as collateral that backs that loan, versus an Arbitrum or Ethereum, each EVM address, even though they're the same, they're different chains and act as separate collateral types. So and something you said, Lisa, yeah, if you're on ICX, it's convert it to SODA, and then you can add it to the money market and take the loan out. So you'll still be able to, exactly what you said, do is you slowly unwind it. There was unfortunately no one-click solution around this. There was no one-click solution, and any solution we tried to automate this process would actually mean we'd have to edit contracts, which is something from an infrastructure perspective we just did not want to go down, because it just created a lot more risk. And there's enough risk with smart contracts and things already. Like, it was, okay, how do we make sure that, we don't invalidate all the audits and all these things that we've done to make the migration simpler? And this is one of the reasons why, yes, there is a bit of a manual loop, but encourage everyone, keep an eye on the collateral ratios, make sure double checking. It doesn't matter if you have to do 3 extra unwinds, it's fine. Like, just take your time around it. And so on balance, the V1, every time you took a loan, there was an initiation fee on like BNUSD and, well, on BNUSD. That is, you said now there's a 1 month. So for folks to migrate, we've given 1 month to migrate without any initiation fees. Is that what you said?
Yeah, until May 10th is when we'll add that fee. And once we add it, it will be the same as we've had before, just a 0.1% fee.
Okay. And is that on just BNUSD, or will there be initiation fees on other assets? I know I'm throwing a bit of a curveball question.
Yes, so other assets will have that borrow fee initially. It's just BNUSD that will be fee-free for the first month.
Okay, good. Great, that curveball question helped. Okay, good to know. So, because on version 1 balanced, you could only borrow BNUSD, correct? So there was no other, you couldn't borrow anything else because it was a CDP, which makes perfect sense. So that's good to know. And so that's a 2% interest, no initiation fee for 1 month, and after that, then users would be subject to the 0.1% on the total loan.
Yeah, that is correct.
I know I'm going over this a few times, but it's super important, right? Like, for everyone, and it is a small window, and this is not on balanced or Parrot 9. I've actually requested that we put a small window, and I'll take ownership of this, because I do want to aggressively get off Icon, and there's levels of complications just keeping everything running and trying to keep things in sync. So I want to get off Icon, and this is one of the last pieces. We've got NL, we've got quite a lot of everything off, and the loans component is one of the final pieces that we need to get off, so then the chain can just kind of operate from a historical reference perspective, apart from the final token migration from exchanges support. That's the real final thing. But okay, great. It'll happen. Okay, so if given now your team is the most experienced team building with the SODAX infrastructure, what do you have any tips or things to share for anyone who's building with SODAX infrastructure on how to get started, ease, challenges you faced, anything? I'm also taking notes to make improvements.
Really get our developer on, eh?
Yeah, a developer would have a much better insight to share there. But I guess from our perspective, building with the tech was the easy part. Getting it to work with our design was the hard part. So because we had a very bespoke interface, it wasn't just like, hey, we could clone Aave's interface and get it all up within a week. That was the part that took the longest amount of time. Talking to our developer initially when he started working through it, like he had the trade functionality up within the space of like, it was less than a week, I think, to get the trading up. I'm not sure how long it took him for the money markets, but I think that was quite fast too. It was just more like all of the detail around the design that is what took the most time, just trying to get everything in the right kind of way so that it worked really well with that design and things weren't breaking and stuff like that, because we had a very pedantic design style, I guess, and I'll call out like every possible tiny issue that I can find. So I've certainly kept him busy for the last few weeks with issues after issues to fix. But
we like to make things hard for ourselves.
Yeah.
No, you're an amazing. You find all the little cracks in everything. I recall even in the days when the enshrinement and we're trying to push through. It was like everything's fine until it gets on Lisa's plate, and Lisa, you come back with 10 issues. It's like, but I tried those things, and I don't know how you find it. No, it's great. It's brilliant. And you'll are very. Perfectionist is a good perfectionist with your designs, right? There we go.
Yeah, no, it's really good because I'll come up with a design and then I'll bring it to Lisa and this is wrong, this could be done better. But like you need that level of critical detail, and feedback coming, because otherwise you get too
complacent.
Yeah, and you get a feature that you might put in far too much effort on that's not actually worth putting in the first place. It's about what you say no to, I think, is one of the harder things to reconcile. And Lisa's very, very good at that.
He's just trying to be nice about the fact that I'm a really negative person.
That's funny. So, okay. So when we're recording today on the 7th. Well, the video will probably drop a couple of days later. When are we launching? What's the go live date? So it would have launched, right?
Yeah, about 9-ish hours from now.
Oh, okay. Now, I did want to touch on one more thing, because you're launching. You got the full stack going live, which is, as you said, trade, all the chains, all the assets that supported on the SODAX infrastructure, all the money markets, loans, and supply and loans, savings and loans, however we want to term it. So users are going to land on this, and I've seen it. Like, let's not be aloof. I love it. I've looked at balance. I've been playing around with it. Beautiful. But interest rates are terrible. No worries. Like, and the interest rate, that's not on y'all. That's on the SODAX infrastructure and how it works. And I kind of wanted to spend a moment talking about why and what does it mean and things like that. So I guess when a user goes in, what are you thinking? Like what when a user sees like, hey, I can supply ETH right now and there's 0.1% interest, what opportunities does it create currently for the user?
Yeah, from a earnings perspective, not a lot. So I guess the real opportunity there would be that, hey, you've got your ETH and then you can borrow any of the assets against it. And so that's where the benefits would be initially, is not just to be able to earn, because you're not really going to earn anything for that, but it's what you can do with that afterwards, what you can borrow with it. If you were wanting to focus on the earning, I imagine we'll get a lot of people supplying USDC. It's got about a 4% interest rate at the moment, so that would be where I expect most of the demand to go initially. Even when I've been taking videos, screenshots, and everything, I've been focusing more on the USDC so that we can show all the nice interest earning charts, so you can actually see, hey, this would actually be quite appealing to use, not just this 0.1% is so insignificant that it's not even showing anything in my earnings chart. So.
Yeah. That's good. USDC. I will add as well. So because Balance has the full set of features, users can actually, like in the ETH or SUI, etc., they can go and compare the native AMMs, native money markets on these chains. So like a base or something is a great example. Like if we just stick to EVMs, Aave, if Aave's ETH is giving 3% on supply, users can use Balance and supply at literally earning nothing, but borrow at paying a much lower interest rate and supply it on Aave and Loop. So that every asset that Balanced has, now that there's an actual UI, users can go in and loop against other markets. Now, I'm not financial advice and stuff, but this is what in the industry is money market arbitrage. That's why you see consistency across all the chains, money markets, and different stacks. So usually native assets will always average around what the staking APR is. But this is what I'm super, like I haven't, even though I've had access to it, I haven't gone and done it because I barely have bags to do it. But you know, other people may, and this is definitely well, apart from loans and things like that, this arbitrage is just open to anyone and everyone to do, because at the moment on certain assets like ETH, there's 3% interest, and money markets borrow rates are under not even 1%, 0.5%. So instantly you can pocket 2% interest by doing that loop. So. And I can talk to it a bit because we work so closely, and you know, it's SODAX infrastructure under the hood. So I'm pretty excited about going live. So users can actually, when you see those interest rates and you're seeing them low, don't get depressed. That's like, that is arbitrage galore opportunity for everyone. That's my 2 cents there. Okay, so. Anything else that we haven't spoken about today, guys? Like, do you all want to mention? I feel like we've run through most things. You also talked about what's coming next. Is there anything we've missed?
Just looking at my notes. I don't think so. You had mentioned there was in the notes about the fee structure being quite aggressively low compared to others in the industry. So we do only charge a 0.1% fee on both swaps and borrow transactions. I'm not sure what most do. I know like Uniswap will be a 0.25% fee on their swaps. So we have gone quite aggressive there. If you are wanting to move the same asset across chains, you can do that for free. We don't have any fee at all. So it means you can do your one-to-one transfers, which I haven't actually seen any other exchange offer. There's always a fee, like even if it's just like a few cents, it's always a little bit less than what you are sending. So that's something that we're trying to do. In terms of how that's going to help us with long-term profitability, that will remain to be seen, especially with the current market conditions. It's not exactly a peak time for people to be participating in DeFi anyway, but yeah, we figured that by being really competitive with the rates that we offer, then it's going to allow more people to want to have an incentive to use us, and we'll just sort of see how that goes. Yeah, we do have additional features that we will be launching after this release, which will also hopefully help with that. But yeah, the idea is to be aggressive and provide the best experience possible with both the interface and with the fees, just the full experience.
Yeah, love it. I love the bridge functionality, and like for everyone, if you go to bridge and at times, at the moment, the current infra is set up where there's no fee involved in bridging because they're assets that are held across all the chains and they can be moved around freely. But sometimes the options may not be available, and that is because there's not the asset there on the other chain to get redeemed. That's a SODAX infrastructure piece. So in events like this, at the moment, I actually gave a part of the tech update. We're working on a solution that automates this. But in those examples, if there isn't assets and then stuff has to be rebalanced, then user may notice, hey, there's a fee. But that is because the asset doesn't exist, right? So there would be a swap involved, and at some point, partners will see when we enable that feature, and then we'll have to cater to how that works. But at the moment, it's essentially like, yeah, we have 50 grand on Arbitrum and USDC, 50 grand on all these other chains, and when you're using that bridge, which is brilliant, I love that you implemented it. It's just moving those assets and unlocking it on each of these chains, right? So. Yeah, because why should I have to pay to move my asset on one chain to the other when it's the same asset? I agree. Bit of crap.
Just pay gas, that's all it should cost.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. So learned a lot. V2 should be live. If you're listening to this, get migrating existing users. Like, don't wait around. It's not going to, you're going to, like, if you have a loan of, I don't know, it's a 0.1% fee. Those fees add up, right? You can move everything over. All your collateral on the one chain acts as backing for the loan. So get moving, get started, so that you don't have to pay that extra fee. If you're looking for staking and pools, it doesn't exist on Balance anymore. Don't look on Balance. It's not. You're not going to get confused. It is at its core money markets and swap. At the moment, although you did say there's some new features coming. Did you want to drop a hint, or am I pushing too?
Actually share that on social media yesterday. So after we have the launch,
yes.
Our next step will be widgets. So we have talked about this a bit in the community before, but we've never really shared more than just a screenshot. Now you can actually go to balance.network/preview, and it will show you the next set of features that we're planning to launch. So widgets. So the idea there is to give people everything that they need to take action within DeFi. Like most apps, they focus on trying to get you to take action as fast as possible. There's buttons everywhere. Whereas if you're doing anything financially, you need to see information to know that action is even necessary in the first place. So with widgets, we're going to have a whole range of informational ones. So you can see price charts, industry sentiment, whatever it may be. And then from there, we're also planning to add support for additional protocols. So for example, you mentioned staking. We want to have a liquid staking widget. So you'll be able to stake the SODA token. You'll be able to stake Sol, SUI, a whole bunch of different options there. In addition to having support for other protocols and all of the features that they support as well. So that is our long-term roadmap that we'll be working towards now that we'll have the V2 launch out.
Very cool. I have seen a demo, played with the demo, and I absolutely love it. I'm pretty excited about it. That said, it's coming, but I don't want to take away from V2, which itself is an amazing, like, complete revamp of the V1. So yeah, there's new stuff, and it's always cool and exciting. But V2 itself is amazing, and pretty excited that everyone's gonna get their hands on it while they're watching this video. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Peter, for coming on. And yeah, let's see when the next set of features are good to roll. We'll get you back on to talk about it, and maybe even show some live demos in the next one, so people can see, some of the, because I haven't seen anything like it, and it's pretty different. So very, very keen to show that off to everyone as well in the future.
Yeah, we hope people like it. It's there's still a few bugs that I need to work through that I'm a little bit nervous of. I'm going to pretty much rush after this interview to fix them all, but we'll see how we go.
This is the norm, everyone. There's always a few bugs, according to Peter. Anything he works on, it's like, it's almost ready, but a few bugs.
But no, we are quite excited about it. Very excited to get V2 out the door, but even more excited about what's coming next.
Yeah.
So
No,
a lot to
cool.
look forward to.
Indeed. Okay. And look, everyone, like, if there's questions and stuff, where do they go there to ask if, when they're migrating and stuff, they're just not sure, how can they get support?
Yes, so the Balance Discord channel would probably be the easiest way. We have a link at the bottom of our website. Also, the Balance Twitter X account would be the other way that we can direct people to the right place. And soon forum, but not just yet. Planning to set that up in the current support channel too.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. And we will talk soon. Okay. Take care.
Thanks for having us. See ya.
Bye.